Now, the next step, non-verbal communication. Say it without saying it. Saying stuff without actually saying them. Good. Non-verbal communication is the exchange of information without saying the word. Good. It's your facial expression. It's your body language. It's your clothing. It's over the phone. Non-verbal quality have no impact. So if you are over the phone, your smile doesn't matter. Your face doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because the customer can see it, cannot see it, but it matters because when you are smiling while you are talking in the phone, even though the customer cannot see your face, but he still can feel that you are happy about talking to him. So it's important that you smile when you are on the phone, but not because the customer can see it. Remember, if I am talking to you and I was like pointing with my hand and I've been like, it's a big, it's small, you guys will have a feeling about what I'm talking. When I'm on the phone, this stuff doesn't mean anything. Face to face, it makes over half of the conversation. Your non-verbal communication is more than half of your conversation. Good. People can read the non-verbal cue. People can read that you are bored. People can read that you are sleepy. People can read that you are bored, that you don't care about what he's talking about. Good. If you are on the phone, when we're talking about the non-verbal have zero. There is no non-verbal. It's your tone and it's your talking. This is 15% is what you say, and 85% of it is how you are saying it. Your tone, the way you talk. This is very important. You can still tell the customer, yes, we will do it for you, no problem. Good. And you can say, yeah, exactly, don't worry about it. We'll get it done, don't worry about it. It's the same thing I'm telling you. But you see how much different it makes? Same thing here on face-to-face. On face-to-face, like it's 50% of the thing is non-verbal. Your face, your smile, you look, you're looking at his eye, you're looking at his face, you're looking on him. Good. The tone of the voice and the actual speaking is less clear. So it's very important that you guys stay focused with the customer, that you guys pay attention to the customer. One of the note that I think we will talk about it later, but it's very important to say it here. If you need to take notes, good. In many cases, we find out our situation that customer is talking and I have to take notes. Good. And sometimes the customer don't get that. He doesn't know if you are taking note or you are talking to your girlfriend or boyfriend or son or brother or husband on the phone or on WhatsApp. So when the customer is talking to you and you have to take a note, make sure you explain to him what you are doing. Make sure you tell him that I'm very sorry, but what you're talking about is very important. So I may have to make sure that I take notes to be able to do this. And once you've done the part of the conversation, show him the note that you took. Let him look at what you are doing. Good. If you have a screen, a big screen or two screens, there is no problem of showing him the screen. Of course, if you are not writing confidential information, in that case, you have to be extra careful because sometimes you might be writing some notes that customer doesn't seem very excited about this and he see it and like, no, no. So you have to be careful. But in general, if you have to take note, tell the customer, give me a few seconds. I'm with you, but I have to take the note. Good. And this is something that you can do. Same thing happened to me a lot when customer come to my office saying, I had a problem with my laptop and my sorry guys. And your team was trying to fix it and tell the customer, can you give me 1 second? Let me try to find the ticket on the system so I can see what you are talking about. Then I tell the customer, just hold for 1 second. Can I tell which date was it? Okay. Okay, I find the ticket. So let me hear it from you now. Okay, so this is what you are telling me. I'm reading the ticket. Now give me a second. So it will make sure the customer knows that you are not playing a game on your mobile. Okay, be respectful. Listen, be nice, observe how the customer feeling, observe how he's technically, observe the customer reaction, be aware of the culture in the company, good, where you are working, when you are traveling to another country, be aware of the culture. Culture changes is very, very important, good. And to be honest with you guys, when they hire Canadian teachers and those Canadian teachers come here to Qatar for the first time, somebody at the university here show them some culture difference. Talk to them about culture difference. Good. And I remember a funny story. One of the teacher was telling the other teachers in the meeting. He told them, if you saw somebody, especially for the lady teacher, he told her, if you see a lady wearing something nice, don't tell her this is look nice. Because the Arabic culture, if you told somebody this is look nice, it will make him feel the feeling that he want to give you that thing. And we have this culture in the Middle East. If somebody tells me it's like, it's nice t-shirt, we will tell him immediately in Arabic, "Mu'addam, faddal." You like, I give it to you. It doesn't, it's gift for you. We have this habit. Canadians say it out of politeness. It's good. Canadians say it out of politeness, and we say it like, we'll give it to you out of politeness. But when you tell the Canadian, yes, I will give it to you, and the Canadian is like, oh, giving to me by mean what? You take the shirt off and give it to me in the middle of the class? It's different in culture. So you have to be careful about this stuff when you are dealing with different people, especially if you are working in a help desk where you are dealing with multiple different people from different countries. They might understand the idea in the wrong way. So anyway, if you are lucky to work one of those big organizations, they will have this kind of training for you. They will tell you what to say, what not to say for the Chinese people, what to say, what not to say for people from the Middle East, what to say, what not to say for the people in this country or this situation. But be aware of those stuff. Okay. Now, the most important part of the non-verbal communication, the tone of the voice, the way you say stuff, the way you sound when you talk. This is very important. Factors that affect your tone of voice. We have the energy, we have the rate of speed, we have the volume, we have the pitch. There is 4 factors. We'll talk about them one by one. Good. The energy. The energy on your voice reflects your personality. You guys are doing now online classes with different teachers. I'm sure some of them will be super quiet, super firm sound. They look like those Al Jazeera news anchor will be like, Assalamu alaikum, Nashratul Akhbar, As-Sa'a Thamina. The teacher is talking quiet, calm. There is some teachers like me look like Faisal Qasim. You know Faisal Qasim in Jazeera, the one that make people fight? Like, yes, tell me what's going on. This is how the sound of the energy. Sometimes energy is good, sometimes it's bad. You have to watch how excitement you are with the customer. Customer love to hear that the technician is excited, that the technician is interested, that the technician want to help. Good. So make sure you sound like this. Facial expression look like a mirror for your feelings. So you have to be looking at it. We have this idea when you are talking on the phone, and we've done it in many help desks at BlackBerry. We ask the technician to have a mirror on his desk. Good. Even if you're talking on the phone, we put a mirror for them on the desk. Good. Next to the phone, next to the laptop. So he can see his face when he is talking to the customer. Good. So that way it will show you if you are super bored or super something. You look at his face when he's talking, and you'll be like zombie face. When you look like a zombie, that means you sound like a zombie. When you look so sleepy, that means you sound so sleepy. When you look so exciting like me and so excited, that means you are about to dance on your desk when you are talking to the customer. Good. And customer can feel that. And hopefully you guys can feel me excited and feel me almost dancing on my desk. Good. Oh, sorry. Approach all interaction with customer as a fresh. This is something important a lot when you are talking to people. You will get, on average, if you are doing a help desk call, on average, you will get 4 to 5 phone calls per hour. That's if you are one of the advanced help desk team where you actually do helping. If you are in a call center, you'll get 20 or 30 calls per hour. Good, 10, 15. So one customer might be angry, and you will be angry with him and on him, and he might be rude to you, and you might be like Hulk. As soon as you hang up the phone and you pick up the line, good, this is a new customer. This is not the same crazy guy that drove you crazy 5 seconds ago. This is a new customer. So don't be angry on him. Good. Don't shout on him. Don't, he have nothing done. He's a different guy. Good. He's a different customer. Unfortunately, I've seen it enough when I was working with the quality assurance and BlackBerry doing quality assurance on the phone calls, that my guys used to carry the anger and the boredom from one call to another call. If you are talking to somebody who's really boring, good, when you hang up with him, you will be like, please hang up, please finish. When you hang up, like, alhamdulillah, I got rid of him. And you pick up the phone for the next customer and you're still in that mode of like, oh my God, another. No, you don't do that. As soon as you hang up the phone, fresh up, the new customer, new victim, smile, start the game. He might be worse than the guy before, but that's your luck, man. But start the call fresh. Good. And I used to tell my guys, if a customer make you really upset, don't talk to somebody else for at least 10 minutes. Good. Stand up on your feet, go for a walk, come back before you talk to a customer. Because I already have one angry customer. I don't want to transfer another customer to an angry customer. Good. I don't care. Take 5 minute break and take a breathe and come back before you go again crazy. Good. So this is something very important. False enthusiasm, false feeling sorry with the customer. Customer can tell that, man. Don't be like this. I'm really sorry. You know you are not really sorry. You are just saying this because they force you to say it. Good. The script that they give to you telling you you have to tell me that you are sorry, but honestly you are enjoying my suffering. Don't be that. Try to be honest, try to be feeling free, try to not to exhausted or doing it. So this is what we talk about energy. Good. This is not about what you are saying. This is about just saying how you are saying. Now, rate of speech. Good. Normal person speak 125 words per minute. That's a normal conversation. Somebody like me spoke like 500 words per minute. Good. I'm just like the Lamborghini of speaking. Fly from 0 to 100 words in like 3 seconds. Good. So it's very important to be able to control your speed of speech. Good. And not talking about over speeding. I'm talking about slow speeding. If you ask people driving on the street, which one will kill you more? A guy going over speed limit and try to pass you, or a guy going slow on the road? Everybody will tell you the guy who's going slow is going to kill me more than the guy who's going fast. People hate it. So don't be the guy like, yes, be respectful to the customer, affect their ability to listen, determine your normal speed by recording yourself, and try to adapt based on the customer need. Good. Come on. Guys are already snoring. I can hear it up to here. You get the point? So somebody will tell me, how can I control it? What should I do? Good. Record yourself. If you are not sure, record yourself. Believe me, you will know. People will tell you. Good. People will tell you slow down, but not everybody will tell you slow down. Your friend might tell you slow down. So if your friend, when you go to the cafeteria, tell you slow down, good. If your mother telling you slow down, if your father telling you cool down, chill, dude, Haddi, wait, take a break. If they're telling you this, that means what? That means you are doing it without you notice. People who speak fast, they don't know they speak fast. People who speak slow, they don't know they speak slow. Good. You have to make sure you know the speed of talking. Good. Record yourself and listen to yourself and try to see how fast you are talking. Volume. Are you speaking too loud or are you speaking too low? Good. In general, people told me that I speak too loud. Good. I know I'm a teacher. I'm in the classroom more than half of my day. I speak very loudly. Good. I hear teacher here asking Mr. Lee for microphone in the classroom. And I'm like, why do you need a microphone? My student wants noise cancellation headset when I'm speaking. Why do you guys need microphone? Good. I remember when we started with the COVID, few teachers went to Lee says, can we get this microphone connected to this class speaker? Because when you put the mask on their faces, students can't hear them. And I told them, like, I need to put 5 or 6 masks in normal day so students can hear me without having headache. Good. So this is the loudness of your speaking on the phone. Sometimes you have to keep in mind that you might have without noticing you are speaking too loud. This is something also. Sometimes because of you are sick or because you are in the car, you are speaking too loud. Sometimes if your headphones are too loud, then you speak too loud without noticing. And I noticed that myself in the car. In the car, when in my car, when I'm listening to the radio is lower volume than my phone. I'm not sure why. Good. So when I'm listening to Jazeera, for example, I have to set the volume on my car to 30. So I'm listening to them right. I'm not listening to music, just a Jazeera. So I can hear them clearly and while I'm driving. So when my wife call me, or when I call my wife, or when I call my mom, when I call somebody, the Bluetooth from my phone, it sounds much louder than the guy from a Jazeera. So the guy of Jazeera is talking, my mom is talking on the phone, and my mom sounds very louder than the Jazeera guy. So because she's shouting, I'm shouting. And my mom will tell me, like, why are you shouting on me? Like, Mom, I'm not shouting. She says, lower your voice. Thank you, Mom. Yes, with all respect. Good. So this is what I'm talking about. Watch your volume. Ask your coworker. Good. If you think your coworker is too loud next to you, point to him. Give him a hand signal or something like this. Good. Sound pitch, you know what I mean by this. There is some people who speak in a squishy sound. Some people are very deep sound. You know those sounds. I don't want to say it in a way that I'm making fun of any of the body, but some people, when they get excited, they sound like, I'm really happy. They got to be having a high tune or low tune. It will need some practice. It will need some practice to get your volume right, to get your pitch sound right. You can be very deep sound, you can be heavy sound, and you can be like, I'm very happy, it's amazing. You have to find the balance. Good. Especially when you are new in this. You are already nervous, you are already scared, and customer asks you a question that you have no answer for, or you don't know what he's talking about. You get more nervous, and your sound either will go super deep or will go super high pitch, and it will look like annoying. It will get to you as you practice. But if you are a guy or a girl that you know you have this problem, don't wait until you get to the job to start to practice to improve yourself. Starting now, think about it. Think about how you can improve this skill, how you can control your voice, how you can control your pitch. I've seen it in my classroom so many times. Good. The student is there. He's sitting in the class. She's sitting in the class. There is no problem with that. Good. They talk to me. They talk to their friend. They make jokes. They are normal human. Nothing wrong with the guy. You call him to stand up for a presentation. Good. He's standing in front of me for a presentation. And suddenly, he just sounds like somebody scratching metals. What happened to you? What happened to you? Like 30 seconds ago, you were speaking to me perfectly. And I'm very nervous. Good. I've seen it. People start cutting their sound when they speak to me. They don't have a medical situation. There is nothing wrong with that. It's just like because they are super nervous. I seen it last semester. I was teaching one of the courses and I got the guys to do presentation for me. And the lady came into the classroom. Hey, thank you. Please prepare your computer. Fine, thank you. She stand up. Okay, go ahead. Start. Like we're talking about the system and about the laptop and like what happened? Why you are so nervous? She said, like, I'm worried about it. I'm not making fun of that lady or not making fun of anybody. I'm here to help you guys. It's not a huge problem. You can overcome that very easily. You just have to practice this. Do you want to practice this now while you are a student, while we as a teacher are here to help you? Or do you want to practice it on the job interview? Or do you want to practice it in the job when you are actually having a job and they are testing you for 30 days or 60 days and you start doing this on the phone? Of course, you don't want to wait until then. Let us help you. Let us work with you. Go ahead, find course online, find the help. If you are confused, if you are not sure about this, talk to me. I can gladly help you. We have the support center here. They can help you. There is so much resources that can help you around here. We have no problem. If you have a medical situation that make your voice pitch, specific voice pitch, that's fine. People will not fire you for that. But if I know, for example, that you had a surgery or a car accident and your voice is not as strong as possible, I will not hire you. I will find you a job where you work on emails or where you don't have to talk too much in that job. That's fine. People are accommodating. We are doing this. Businesses are hiring. Good. But I don't hire you as a singer if you cannot speak. Good. But you can find another position. But we can help you improve. We can show you how to do it. And I'm just talking about people having this problem when they are nervous and they are worried. And many of you guys will have this problem. Good. Okay. So tone of the voice. The way you have your tone is very important. It's very critical to differentiate the whole meeting. I can tell you, what do you mean? And what do you mean? It's the same, what do you mean? But it has a huge, big difference. Good. I gave you the example about the word inshallah. Good. I believe my wife have at least 30 different use to the word inshallah. Good. She like inshallah, 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 ul inshallah, inshallah. The same inshallah, she have like 30, 40 different tunes for that thing that mean different stuff. I know the inshallah, the angry inshallah, I know it very well. Good. And I know the inshallah that will make me run out of the house. Good. So there's a few inshallahs that you have to know the tones of them. Good. Customers knows, customer understand this. Good. Are you guys having any question about this?